This man just threw another no-hitter, his third no-hitter in his illustrious career. Fifth pitcher in Major League Baseball history with 250 more strikeouts in 5 seasons, at least. Now, sixth pitcher in Major League Baseball history to throw 3 no-hitters. Cy Young, Larry Corcoran, Bob Feller, Sandy Koufax, Nolan Ryan, and this guy, Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Justin?
Hey, doing great. Thanks. How are you?
Damn straight you're doing great. So did you wake up dangerous, to use the Baker Mayfield phrase? Like, did you know? Did you feel it that day when you threw the no-hitter this weekend?
I wish I could say I did. I mean, I think, these things are kind of like lightning strikes. You just never really know. Felt pretty normal all day. Actually kind of felt like crap warming up. So I think it's kind of a common theme, though. You hear, like, perfect games, no-hitters. A lot of times guys don't feel great in the bullpen or early in the game.
So how does that feel? I mean, what do you mean? You just, like, walk me through for us, I guess, mortals in a way, Justin. What does that mean, that you're not feeling good in the bullpen?
Well, like, I was kind of all over the place. My command wasn't great. And then, but I don't put much stock in my bullpens anyway. It's just kind of a means to get my body loose. And then I came out to start the game, and the velocity was a little down, and my command was still a little all over the place. Walked the second batter of the game, and it was just kind of like, all right, well, it's going to be one of those days. Going to have to grind. And, sure enough, slowly but surely, things just started to kind of click a little bit. And by the time I, looked up, it was the 4th, 5th inning, and I'm like, well, shoot, I'm feeling pretty good now and haven't given up a hit. So see where this thing goes. And sure enough, man, I was able to pull it off.
So you just hit my next question is, like, when do you look up and see the 0 under the H column on the scoreboard and start thinking about it?
Well, besides the first inning,
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like the whole game is always aware that you haven't given up a hit. I guess when it really starts to click in, I think, is after the 6th inning. The 7th is like, okay, we're getting close. 9 outs. The 8th is pretty intense, and then the 9th is just kind of like, all right, well, let's let it all hang out. And I've blown 2 in the 9th. I don't want to say I've blown. They're pretty. The hitter did a good job getting a hit off me in the 9th.
Right.
A couple times before. So, and this is after having had 2 already. So I didn't think 3 was in the cards for me. I just kind of thought it was not going to happen. You don't get so many chances. And, sure enough, I was thinking about those. I thought about them in the 9th inning the other night. As I've been here before, and I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get this close again. I definitely don't want to blow this one.
Well, I mean, I imagine this was your third one. I'm not terribly familiar, as you might be, obviously, with your 2 previous ones. Did you have early leads in this one? Because this was nothing forever. It felt like forever it was no score in this one, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2 previous, I definitely had some run support. This one was very different. I mean, it's not different for me, the way I'm pitching, but when it got to the 9th inning, it's like, hey, if we don't score here, I don't really have a chance, because my pitch count was so high that I wasn't going to go. I knew I wasn't going back out for the 10th. So if we didn't score in the 9th inning, it just wasn't going to happen whether I didn't give up a hit or not in the 9th. And
what is it about Toronto? You're the first pitcher in the history of baseball, Justin Verlander, to throw multiple no-hitters on the road against the same opponent. What is it about Skydome? You feel safe?
Sometimes when you step on a mound in certain places, it just like is a good visual, and I don't really know how to explain that. It's like when I step on the mound in Toronto, I feel like I'm pretty close to home plate. Like the visual looks good to me. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
You're like the anti-Kawhi, I think, in Toronto. Like you're the opposite of Kawhi. You're not going to get any free meals there, Justin. I'll tell you that.
No. I don't know if I'll be let back in the country at this point.
No, I know. So walk me through the one lone mound visit that you had that day, Justin.
Yeah, it's probably pretty more interesting than people would think. I guess just because it was the 9th inning, it was 2 outs. It was kind of one of those moments that typically you don't want to interrupt the flow of the game. So I think that kind of caught a lot of people's eye that I called Chirinos out to talk. And really what the conversation was about was Bichette, who was coming up, who had 3 at-bats already. And I had a good feel for what he was seeing well and what he wasn't. But he has 2 different swings. He has a pre-2-strike swing, and then his 2-strike swing, he shortens up and has a bit of a 2-strike approach, which honestly is nice to see in this day and age. But I wanted to make sure that he didn't go to that 2-strike approach earlier in the at-bat, because that would have probably changed a little bit of the way I attacked him. And with the way he does his leg kick and the rhythm of my mechanics, I wouldn't really be able to see if he was doing it or not. So I told Trinos, hey, if he does this earlier than 2 strikes, I need you to let me know. Just point to him or something and say that he was doing this, so I would be aware.
Justin Verlander, Astros pitcher and Cy Young Award winner, and certainly a candidate for this year's award right here on the Rich Eisen Show. How often do you think about that 60-second period at the trade deadline that no longer exists anymore a couple of years ago, Justin, where you almost were not a Houston Astro?
You know, I mean, I definitely still think about it. It comes to mind, you know, we go to Detroit comes to us, or, you know, when I'm reminded of just coming up in conversation, talking about the moment. I mean, it was such a hard decision in the moment. And now looking back, I mean, it was such a, if you could have said all that's going to happen was going to happen, it was the easiest decision I've ever made. But I mean, I had so much history in Detroit, the fan base there, my home was there, I grew up there, and all those things come into consideration. You know, if it's, you know, athletes, it's not just purely a sports decision. It's a family decision and a life decision, and that weighed heavily on me. Ultimately, though, it came down to having the opportunity to win, and I mean, man, it paid off pretty immediately, winning the championship in 17.
Yeah, damn straight. You're just winning and winning and winning, and now here you are in a situation where you're battling your own teammate for the Cy Young Award, Justin. It's kind of. Do you have conversations about that sort of thing openly?
We haven't actually directly discussed it, but I mean, Garrett and I are good friends, and we definitely we have a friendly competition that I think kind of pushes us both. You know, the closest we've come to talking about anything like that was actually the other night after his start 2 starts ago, because I had passed him in strikeouts for like the first time in a year of the year, and was like I had gone 7 straight starts with 10 or more punch outs. Like I had just gone on some crazy run, and the start after that, I only had 4. So, of course, Garrett goes out and punches like 13 or 14 in that next start. And in the shower after the game, I'm like, you know, I let the door open just a little bit. You didn't have to just walk through it. You just, like, kicked the door down, you know, and just, like, ran through and overtook the lead again. So that's kind of the closest we've come to talking about our kind of friendly competition we got going on.
In the shower, huh? That's where these conversations take place?
All the time.
No, I didn't know. It's like The White Shadow. I remember that show. I might be dating myself here, Justin, a little bit.
I'm not familiar with that show.
Oh, Justin. When you're on the road and you need something to watch, it's some good old school sports television from way back in the day.
All right.
So when it all come down to it, though, obviously the Old English D, what you used to wear, and how many people still look to you as fondly with all that. What does it mean for you to throw this no-hitter for the same organization as Nolan Ryan, Justin?
I mean, just incredible. Obviously, you know, Nolan was my idol growing up. You know, and I mean, I've had some pretty cool moments already as an Astro, and one of the coolest is sitting there pitching in the playoffs and looking behind home plate and seeing Nolan Ryan back there watching me pitch. I mean, that's just so incredible, and still it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. But you know, actually, I got a text message from him after the game, and you know, I talked to him quite a bit, honestly, which is, I mean, if you'd have told the little kid me that this would be where I was at, I mean, I'd have called you a liar. I mean, just getting there, you know, getting to the field at 2:00 and sitting down and having a conversation with Nolan about pitching. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
So what conversations can you let me be a fly on the wall here a little bit with you and Nolan, Justin?
Well, I had been struggling with my changeup a bit. This was probably a month and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as Nolan got older in his career, he started developing a great changeup and started using it a lot. And really, he said it kind of helped him through the last 5-6 years of his career to succeed. And so I was just talking about his grip and his thought process, and it kind of, you know, reminded me of some things that I used to do with my changeup. So really this conversation just kind of spurned some old thought processes that I had with my changeup in the past. And really it's been pretty good. I used it a lot more since we had that conversation, and it's been I mean, it's still a weapon that I don't use that often, but it's definitely in my back pocket, and it got better with his advice.
A few more minutes left here with Justin Verlander, Astros pitcher, 8-time American League All-Star, and now multiple 3 now no-hitters on the ledger here on the Rich Eisen Show. Do you still think the balls are juiced, Justin?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to go further into it, or?
Sure. I did ask a yes or no question, so I deserve that answer. But yes, please.
I mean, I don't know. I've, obviously, I kind of voiced my opinion at the All-Star break, and look, I know that we're all using the same balance, even in fair playing field. So, hey, it is what it is. My problem is that it changes the game. It changes the core of what I think makes baseball great. That you don't see stolen bases anymore. You don't see guys getting the runner over anymore. You don't see guys going to a two-strike approach, like I said, Bo Bichette did. Trying to put the ball in play. It's just launch angle and hit the ball over the fence, and I don't mind them. I don't mind that because honestly, the game is dictating that. If there's so many home runs and walks and homers are how you're going to score. I mean, if you're not going to string together 3, 4, 5, 6 hits in an inning anymore, then I mean, you have to try to hit the long ball. So I get it. I just, I think the proof is in the numbers. I mean, you see that AAA homers were up 60% from last year, and nothing changed but the baseball. And homers are up this year in Major League Baseball. So those decisions are far over my head. Somebody with MLB, I think, is has to decide whether this is good or bad for the game of baseball. That's not my call. I just wanted to call a spade a spade.
What about the idea that that, along with the shift, where everybody thinks that they have
Absolutely.
to hit the ball over people, you think
Yep.
that has something to do with it too?
I do. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, and this goes back to the same type of talk where, why, as a left-handed hitter, would you just shorten up and try to put the ball in play? Now, a lot of people, say, well, why don't you just, if you're shifted, why don't you just hit the ball the other way? I mean, when you got guys throwing 98 miles an hour and, for me, for instance, I'm throwing mid-90s and my fastball rarely gets hit on the ground as is. It's like a 90% fly ball rate. And then most of the time I'm throwing off-speed pitches down and under your hands. So it's not as easy as it sounds to just try to hit the ball to the left side. So, you got 2 strikes and you just try to put the ball in play instead of strike out. Well, you got 5 guys on that side of the field that you're most likely putting the ball in play to. It's more times than not going to end up in an out. So, I get it. Like I said, I understand why guys are just not going to 2-strike approaches and try to hit homers. I think you nailed it. You nailed it. I think the balls and the shifts are kind of leading to this home run era.
Well, and there's also so many pitching changes too, Justin. I mean, one of the things that's a throwback of what you did on Sunday is that it's the first no-hitter in the last 4 that wasn't a team effort. You actually did it yourself, and it's just the 41st complete game of the year. And you, in Game 2 of the ALCS against the Yankees, soon to be 3 postseasons ago, last pitcher to throw a complete game in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
why, how difficult is it to take the ball from you, Justin? Walk me through that process.
I mean, I feel like AJ and myself have had a really good rapport. I've always told him I'm going to be honest with you with how I feel, and he always asks me, how's it going? How do you feel? And if I, the other night I had 104 pitches after 8. He's like, how do you feel? And I said, I feel great. Let's go. And that's it. That's pretty much the end of the conversation. It was a similar conversation against the Yankees 3 playoffs ago. I think I came out with over 100 pitches, and he just kind of looked at me and gave me a little head nod, and I reciprocated it, and that was it. We didn't even really need to talk about that one.
But it's got to be a mentality too, right, Justin? Not
100%. Yeah, I definitely want the ball and want to stay out there as much as possible. And I got to give it to our organization. I mean, I think you see some teams trying to do the opener and not 3 times through the lineup. Well, for the first time, and I don't know if ever, but for the first time in a long time, relievers have worse numbers than starters. So, I mean, maybe that'll start to trend things back the other direction. I don't know. But I do find that pretty interesting. As they're getting more and more innings, all of a sudden the numbers are starting to flip-flop a little bit, and starters are, again, having better numbers.
Well, you're a throwback, man. Before I let you go, you playing fantasy football? You in a league? You got the Astros together?
I am.
What do you got
Number
for me?
6 pick, DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay. God, nice. You're staying.
Yeah.
That's on brand there
Yep.
for in Houston. Okay. And
Exactly. And I got Deshaun to go with him later, but
okay.
I'm excited.
All right.
I got a good team.
And what's
Chubb in the second round.
okay?
12-team league.
What's the name? What's your team name? Is it safe for work?
I haven't named it yet. I actually woke up this morning thinking about the guys I drafted and what to name my team.
Can we come up with one for you? Can I have my show listeners come up with it and you either use it or not?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Very good. We're very creative here because the name of the name of my team.
I mean, if it's going to be public, we got to keep it PG-13.
No. We've got one. We're in the Alice in Chains Fantasy Celebrity League, and based off of Andy Reid being at the center of the coaches picture at this year's owners meeting and man spreading, it's called Man Spread Centerpiece, and he's our avatar. So that's what we went with, just to give you an idea.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, I can't wait to hear what comes out of this.
Okay, Justin. Thanks again. Really appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Congrats on yet another one.
Thank you.
And take it easy on my Yankees if you see them coming up in October.
All right. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
You got to take it easy. You got That's right. Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.